Hello guys, this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I will tell you guys everything about this phone, but first of all, it's just 160,000 naira.
Roses, who told you that this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max? You want to put me in trouble? Oh yeah, I beg, leave my studio. Leave my studio before you put me in trouble. Get out of my studio, my friend. So this is the CCIT W17 Pro Max, and yes, Roses is right about the price. It's 160,000 naira. You may have seen my review of the W16 Pro Max. It has almost the same specs as the W17 Pro Max, and these are the main specs according to CCIT. It is built on Android 15, has a 20 megapixel camera sensor, a strong 6000 mAh battery, 8 GB of RAM plus 512 GB of storage, a 6.8 inches wide display, and lots of iPhone 17 features. To better understand this phone and decide whether you should buy it, this video comes in 4 sections. In the first section, I will talk about all the cool features of this phone, something I believe is worth the hype. Then in the second section, I will talk about the general specifications of this phone, such as the display and the camera. In the third section, I will focus on the performance of this phone, since this is what a lot of people are concerned about. The last section will cover my opinion on this device, and you might want to pay attention to this section because it is what might determine whether you should buy this phone or not. As always, this is the point where I will ask you to subscribe and follow me, and I will also appreciate it if you like this video as well. So please subscribe or follow me and also like this video as well. So let's start from the first section, the things that made this phone really cool. For a fraction of the price, you can now enjoy some of the features of the real iPhone 17 Pro Max. Everyone will agree that the most prominent feature here is the design. CCIT copied the design so well that it may even be hard for some to suspect that this is not the real iPhone. With the real iPhone 17 case on this phone, it is nearly impossible to tell. The camera action button looks as cool as its function, serving as quick access to the camera. It can also be used to zoom in and out on images, record videos, and take pictures. I wonder why I call it the camera action button, because it is also the fingerprint unlock. There is a silent button on the left side of the phone that gives you quick access to silence mode. The SIM tray supports 2 SIM cards, one at the top and the other one is at the bottom. The dynamic bar appears incredibly realistic, displaying useful notifications such as when the phone enters silent mode or when a charger is plugged in. But from observation, it doesn't display notifications from text messages, and this might also apply to other notifications as well. In the home screen of the CCIT W17 Pro Max, you will see that most of the app icons are those of Apple devices, despite that this phone is based on Android. The control center is just the same, with everything here giving you the iPhone vibe. The last cool feature of this phone that I will talk about in this video is the way the settings is arranged. When you enter the settings on a real iPhone, your Apple account is the first thing that you will see on the list. Android phones have something similar called accounts, but it is usually in the middle of the settings. CCIT brought this account to the top of the settings to make it look like the real Apple account. They also did the same thing with the About Phone section in the settings, and this also gives the phone the iPhone vibe. At this point, it is not about how cheap this phone is. It is not even about the performance, whether it will lag or not. It is about how this W17 Pro Max can make someone feel like they are using the real iPhone 17 Pro Max, when in reality, they cannot even afford half of it. Now let's move on to the second section of this video. This time, I will focus on the display, the storage, and the camera. When it comes to the display, the price of the screen of the real iPhone 17 Pro Max itself is higher than this entire phone that you are seeing here. So don't expect that the screen of this phone and the screen of the real iPhone 17 Pro Max will be exactly the same. This one is far less, but it does not mean that the display is not good. It is large, 6.8 inches to be precise, and the limited bezels at the sides is what makes a huge difference. So what we have here is almost like an end-to-end screen with very little frame around it. Another good thing about this phone is the battery, and this time I'm not talking about the rated 6000 mAh battery capacity. I'm talking based on experience. I've used this device and I hardly charge it because the battery is strong. It's a new phone and anything can happen after a couple of weeks or months, but so far the battery is good. When it comes to charging this phone, I don't have any idea of the charging speed. One time I charged it for over 30 minutes and I got only 15% increase. On a different charger, that same 30 minutes gave me almost 30%. Since there's no charging brick on the box, one has to get a fast charger for this device. On the storage capacity, the RAM is 8 GB and the storage is 512 GB. There are some concerns from people that these are not the actual storage. I ran it on a computer and it reads it as 512 GB. I also used an app called CPU-Z to investigate, and it also reads it as 512 gig. To be fair, I know that there is something called storage spoofing, where the actual storage is less than what is specified. Even a computer and the CPU-Z app that I just mentioned will not be able to detect it. So whether the storage is spoofed or not, the truth is I don't know. So I will just go with the 512 gig that is specified in the settings. The camera with the 20 megapixel sensor needs a lot of work. A lot of people often ask me on WhatsApp if the camera is good as that of an iPhone. The answer is no. If you are able to focus the camera on the main object by tapping on the camera interface, you will get usable pictures, especially in a bright area and the camera lens is clean. The quality of the picture is not bad for a phone in this price range. I only said that this camera needs a lot of work because this phone looks like the real iPhone 17 Pro Max, so naturally we should expect more. One of the challenges you will face with this camera is that focus easily changes. This means that you will have to touch the main subject in the camera interface almost every time you want to take a picture. This camera can be used to take product pictures or pictures of your services that will be shown to your potential customers, but I cannot recommend it for making video content for online use. Now let's proceed to the third section, which is the performance. The processor, according to the CPU-Z app, is the MTK6762, which is another way of saying Helio P22. This is the same processor that is used on the W16 Pro Max. Very clearly, this is not a high performance CPU. I installed eFootball on the phone, but the game lags a lot. The lagging does not affect other aspects of the phone, it's just the game. It is able to play simple arcade games with no issues. The thing is, I already know that the Helio P22 is a basic CPU for basic use, like making calls, using messaging apps like Facebook and WhatsApp, watching videos online and playing simple games. Apps like OPay and other bank apps are basic. These simple apps will not create problems for the phone. But even with that, too many applications, games and media files will slow the phone down and cause it to lag. So someone using this phone will have to avoid installing apps and games that they don't really need. So to round it all up, here is my opinion. The CCIT W17 Pro Max is a perfect affordable alternative to the real iPhone 17 Pro Max. If you are buying it as a gift for someone you love, I'm very sure that they are going to love it, and one reason is because of the cool design. If you are someone who is not interested in playing high graphic games like eFootball, Call of Duty and PUBG, then this will be a perfect fit. If you also need a phone as a backup, this phone can handle it. Lastly, this is a great option for those who cannot afford expensive phones, yet they want to taste how it feels like to use expensive phones. This phone can give you that taste. If you need this CCIT W17 Pro Max, you can use the WhatsApp number that is now in the pinned comment and description of this video.